Oh yeah, Blackson in the Hizzle. Oh, for shizzle dizzle. We got an excellent show here today. We got Ms.Rollins and we got a special guest, Shawnee.
Yep, Shawnee D.
Shawnee D. Okay. So here on Fitness Friday, we talk about, workouts. We talk about, um, just fitness. Um, so where do I start? So,
Just let her introduce herself, and she can then we
okay.
can because she has a whole brand and all that stuff, and then we can go from there.
Okay. Sounds good.
So, Michelle, we're gonna let you introduce yourself. Tell us about your business, your journey, all that good stuff, if you don't mind.
No problem. All right, first and foremost, my name is LaShawn Cummings. I hear something in the background. Sorry. So first, my name is LaShawn Cummings. I am a certified personal trainer, certified group fitness instructor. The name of my business is Just Move. Uh, that's this shirt, all right.
Okay.
So that's the name of my business, Just Move. Just Move started off as a way to encourage people to get up, get active,
Right.
get going, get moving. Um, from my own personal experience, which I'll get into, uh, I turned Just Move from like an encouraging thing, just pushing people into doing it, to actually pushing people by getting my certification in group fitness. I was a Zumba instructor, and then moving into personal training and working one on one in small groups. Um, my own personal fitness journey started in 2018, September 2018. Shout out to ATF, that's where I started. Um, and I lost with working with a personal, my own personal trainer, who's still my trainer. Every trainer should have a trainer. Um, so my own personal trainer, I started out with him, and I lost 100 pounds in 10 months.
Okay.
And I was truly, the ATF is addicted to fitness, and I was truly addicted to it from there.
Okay.
And that blossomed into teaching dance classes, Afro beats classes, Zumba classes, then into small group workouts. Then the pandemic hit, and that turned into online workouts. Michelle was a part of that.
Yeah.
Okay.
And online only, that was real hard, all the gyms shutting down, and then
Hmm.
getting back into the gyms and starting as a personal trainer, and just constant, and then just still having that encouraging force and having people come to me for help with where do I start, and that's what Just Move is. Just Move is the answer to where do I start, and we start with moving. So that's it
Okay.
in a nutshell.
Okay. So you are based. Oh, wait, I'm getting a little feedback. Hold on.
There's that.
Okay. So you are based. Wow. Michelle, you want to ask some questions? Because I'm getting feedback.
I'm
Gosh.
I'm getting feedback as well. It's just one of those nights, I guess. Um, the main, I guess you answered the first question I had. And we're going to continue while Black Sun try to make some adjustments. The first question was going to be, where do I start? And you said simply just move. And I of course love the name of your brand, the Just Move. Um, okay,
Thank you.
let's say I'm just starting out and you say let's just move, and I'm like, okay, what is just move? What is okay, I get it, just move. Okay, what do I need to do to just move? I know it sounds like a dumb question, but sometimes when you're trying to start a fitness and wellness journey, everything seems overwhelming at times, right? So I'll come across your brand and it says just move. Okay, what is your advice as far as okay, just get moving? Where would you tell me to start? Or do you have anything specific?
Um, so first things first, I would always ask people, what is something that you like to do? And people answer that in so many different ways. Well, I like to watch TV. I like to, like, what is something in movement that you like to do? Some people like to listen to music, so that means they might like to dance. Um, and then I would ask them what they're able to do. What type of activity are you used to? Are you used to zero activity? Used to a little bit of activity? Are you used to actually moving already, but you just don't have a plan? So let's say that, like you said, starting with somebody who has zero activity, they like music, but they don't really dance. They just like to, two-step around the house. I would tell them to dedicate 10 minutes a day to turning on your favorite cleaning mix and two-stepping around the house. It starts with actual movement. Like, people don't realize how much you can do when all you do is move your limbs. Something as simple as just moving your arms back and forth while in a seated position gets that heart rate up. And that heart rate building up, that helps you, that makes the rest of your body want to move. Your blood flow makes the rest of your body want to move. I listened to your last podcast and you were talking about how working out changes your mood.
Yeah.
You get that heart rate up and you get that good mood just from hearing your favorite song once a day and just two-stepping around the house. That'll turn into you moving your feet. That'll turn into you bopping your head. That'll turn into you eventually actually dancing to this song. And just that one thing, that one consistent thing will get you into a pattern of consistent movement. And that's really the goal, is to consistently move.
Wow. That is interesting. Um, and that's a great insight because a lot of people think that when you first start working out, you have to just jump in head first and do hours of cardio or whatever. But you're saying just something as simple as just moving your arms, just moving is enough to get you motivated and get you started on your fitness journey.
Absolutely. It doesn't the gym is overwhelming. Like, that's something that we just have to admit at the end of the day. The gym is very overwhelming. Working out is overwhelming, especially in the age of social media with Instagram models and fitness gurus and all these things. It's a very overwhelming experience trying to get into it for the real reason that we should be into it. The real reason we should be into our fitness should be for our health. But because vanity is something that runs social media, it's now also about what we look like. So you have people who don't fit the bill, who want to just get healthy, and they're intimidated by going to the gym. So the reason that I created Just Move is because I know what it feels like to be intimidated trying to go to the gym and trying to get a workout in and looking on YouTube and seeing these crazy workouts, people throwing weights and stuff. And I'm like, that don't look like, that's how I started out with dance. I started out moving to music in my house. Started out with the personal trainer. I had to get someone to tell me exactly what to do because I had no idea where to start. So it starts with that movement, because everything else could be very intimidating. So you got to start small. You got to start with the smallest thing that you're comfortable with. And as you get a little bit more comfortable, you could add things. As you get a little more comfortable, you add things. And as you add things, you learn. And then that's the next part of Just Move, is the education part. Is learning what movement actually will get you to your goal after you actually start consistently moving. But first, we got to build the habit. So.
Right. And I agree with you as far as the going to the gym part being intimidating, because as you know, and I tell anyone that when I first started trying to lose weight, especially when I was at my heaviest, there was no way you're going to get me to the gym. One, I'm an introverted person. Most people would not probably realize that. So me and crowds were not going to work. Plus, I was 275 pounds. And as you stated, me looking at social media and the gym, you think everyone is fit. So I was like, I'm never going to the gym. But as you said, once a person understands Just Move, then I finally eventually build up to that phase of going to the gym. But what if someone never gets comfortable enough to go to the gym? Is it okay for them to still work out at home or whatever? What is your advice on that, if you have any that you want to share?
So if you're intimidated by the gym to a point where you just don't, when you just wrote the gym off, I would recommend it depends on what your goal is, obviously. Like if your goal is just to keep moving, if your goal is to just have a consistent routine and just be able to move every day, then that's something as simple as going for a run. You know, you can go for a walk, go for whatever. You could do something by yourself, ride your bike, whatever you want to do. It could be a solo thing completely if you don't ever want to have to set foot in the gym. It really depends on your goal. If your goal is to eventually, after you have that consistent movement in your life, and then your goal is, well, I want to be a bodybuilder, then I would tell you, even if you don't want to go to that intimidating gym, then now you need to find a personal trainer, you know, and get into that personal studio where you could do one-on-ones, where it might be a lot more comfortable for you to actually, I have clients like that who started out with me because the gym was too much. And then the personal studio was like, okay, this is just her. Okay, I could do this. You know, or if it's just her and one other person, I can do that. That small group feels good. So it's more so about finding what works for you. There is no wrong answer, no matter how many people tell you that there's a right and a wrong to this. There's a right and a wrong to specific goals, but there's no right or wrong answer when it comes to overall health. Movement is movement. If you constantly move and you eat clean, you will have a healthy life. You just have to move and eat clean. So like you don't have to go to the gym and lift 300 pounds just so that you could prove that you're this or that. No, none of that really. All of that is just fitted to a specific goal.
Okay. And you touched on eating clean and your diet, and I'm thinking maybe my mic might be the one that's giving feedback. I'm not sure. But you mentioned eating clean. What is your definition of eating clean? Because you know we have all these different types of diets, and some are are classified as fat, some are whatever. As a personal trainer, what is your definition of eating clean?
Eating clean, it does have a lot of definitions. It really does. I am. My clients will all tell you guys the same thing. I could get everybody on here, and they'll all say the same thing. That to me, eating clean is number one, eating with a purpose, and number two, not eating the things that are going against the goal that you set. Now, I know that sounds very vague. I'll bring it in, I promise.
Okay.
I'm not a person who tells you that you need to eat brown rice and vegetables and that's it, and or just chicken breast or just fish and that's it. Like if you like steak, eat steak. That's fine. Eat a steak. But the difference between the steak that you're going to make at home and the steak that you're going to get in the restaurant is the one in the restaurant tastes so good because it's drenched in butter. And if one of your health issues is high cholesterol and you're constantly going out to the steakhouse getting the steak, then you're working against the goal of lowering the cholesterol. The steak isn't the issue, it's the butter. So it's not that you have to stop eating the steak, you have to fix how you prepare the steak. So it's more about figuring out what works for you. Clean eating to me is I'm going to get my protein in a day. I'm going to get my healthy complex carbs in a day. I'm going to get my fibers, my iron, I have a lot of things that I actually have to get personally. Like I need iron. So I make sure that I have things that are high in iron. You need certain vitamins and minerals to go in the day. So you have some people who do things like sea moss and stuff like all of these things. They may seem like fads, but everybody's body needs something different. We all know that we should drink water. That's something that's universal, but you might not need as much calcium as I need. So you might be okay with drinking certain kinds of milk that I can't drink. To me, I personally can't eat dairy. So I'm not going to tell you. I do think that maybe you should eliminate dairy from your diet, especially if you're dealing with cholesterol and things like that. I think you should eliminate dairy, but there are people who can process dairy a little bit better. Okay, then maybe they can have a little bit of cheese in their diet. So to me, eating clean is actually going towards the healthy lifestyle that you're looking for. So if you know that you're trying to lower that cholesterol, then more roughage, more leafy greens, more lean meats, more, more water, less vegetables that are high in sugar, or fruits that are high in sugar,
Mm-hmm.
bringing those things down.
Guys, we are having some awful audio. Dang it. Hold on.
At,
Okay,
at,
yeah, we're having some really bad audio.
at one point, the echo stopped. It stopped now. So
Yeah,
I
I
think.
muted Shawnee's mic.
Oh, so you think it's the background?
Yeah, I think it's because we're getting really bad. It's like really bad. Shawnee, hold on, let me unmute
Put
her.
on headphones.
Yeah, let's try some headphones. Yeah. Okay, y'all. We gonna see if we can fix this or clean this up.
Okay.
Yeah, because I got sound. Yeah, my moderators are sound engineers.
And
But
we having some great information. That's the thing. Is
yeah, but we're getting some awful feedback. I mean, it's
yeah.
like really bad.
Do you still hear it now? I don't hear feedback now. Do you?
I don't hear it
Can you hear
now.
me?
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, that's much better. Oh
Yeah, that's
God.
much
That
Yeah.
better.
work?
Stop.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's much better. Yeah, yeah. Okay, so yeah, just like my computer, just have to have headphones.
It just
You might have to use my
needed
headphones too.
to bring it in.
Yeah, yeah. Now you were
All
saying,
right.
about the beef. Now, some might say that beef has a lot of high cholesterol.
It does. So
Hmm.
when you go in to get a certain cut of beef, you definitely want to look at things like marbling. Um, when you're looking at beef, you want to try to get lean cuts of meat, period. When you're looking at chicken, when you're looking at honestly, a lot of people don't eat pork because they don't, they feel like pork is not healthy, but there are lean cuts of pork as well. There's lean cuts of meat that you can eat that have a lot less fat in them. So if they have less fat in them, then they are actually okay. But if you're dealing with high cholesterol and your doctor is telling you to lay off the red meat because it has too much fat in it, then that's what I mean by that's your version of clean eating. No red meat, no, that's what I'm getting at with there's no solid right answer. I can
Right.
tell you the right answer is eliminating sugar. I can tell you artificial sugar is something that's universal, just like water. Drinking enough water is universal. Eliminating artificial sugars and sweeteners and things like that, though that is universal because we actually have a sugar addiction in this country.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
so something like sugar might be something that everyone can eliminate and benefit from. But you might not be able to eliminate chicken. That might be the only way that you're getting enough protein. So
Right.
if that's something that you have to eat so that you can get the protein that you need in your diet, then I'm not going to tell you that chicken is wrong. It's how you prepare your chicken. Are you frying your chicken all the time? Are you putting it in that buttermilk first? Are you
Yeah.
adding butter on top of it when you're cooking it? You know, those are the issues. It's how we're preparing certain things. There's no universal like no chicken, you
Okay.
Right.
know.
We're
Right.
still getting bad feedback, y'all. This is
Are you
really,
hearing
yeah,
feedback? I'm not
it's
hearing feedback.
clicking. Yeah, I'm hearing it real bad. Like,
Really?
yeah, like a
Yeah, I
clicking
don't hear
sound.
anything
Yeah,
anymore.
once you talk, it starts clicking.
I don't hear clicking.
Okay, go ahead, Shawnee. Say something.
No, I don't know. Can
Yeah,
you hear
it's
me?
your yeah. Do you have another device? Because yeah, this is
Uh, my phone. I could try my phone.
you might have to try your phone. Yeah, because it's clicking real bad.
No.
Okay,
Okay.
I'll log out and come back in.
Okay.
Okay. Sorry.
All right, no problem.
So
Yeah,
while we
Michelle, that's
were
her. Yeah, that was her
with
end.
her,
Yeah, it was clicking bad. Yeah, it was.
okay, I didn't
Yeah.
quite hear clicking, but my setup is different. So while we're
Right.
waiting on her, I like that she was saying how every diet, or for the lack of a better term, every lifestyle is individualized. So one person may not eat beef or pork or chicken or whatever, but it
Hmm.
still can work based on their nutritional needs. And I like that because we a lot of times we are hearing and lately a lot of, okay, you don't need to eat pork, or you don't need to eat this, or you know what I'm saying? High protein with steak, chicken, or whatever is the best way, or vegan, vegetarian is the best way. And she is saying that
Yeah,
whatever
because I
works.
was going to ask her when she comes back on, are there any other alternative sources of protein? I already know the answer of that,
And
of course, but I was going
as
to ask
she's a
her
personal
that and
trainer,
see.
we all know there's other sources of protein. But
Right. But I
the
mean,
pro-
but she made a good point how like people just don't want to let go of certain fish and
yeah,
chicken. So I hear I'm definitely listening,
yeah,
but I think one thing that we have to I think people when they get a misconception will say, "Well, I have to get my protein," and then people automatically think it's only meat that they get their protein, which is a
right.
big
But if
misconception.
right, but if you notice what she said if according to something like according to your doctor, if eating chicken is your only way to get enough protein. She didn't say that was the only way to get protein because,
Well, you said if it was the
for
only way.
example, with me, I know that there are, and a lot of people know that vegetables, you can get protein from soy or whatever different vegetables,
Hmm.
but depending on your nutritional need, your physical anatomy or whatever, I can't eat enough of certain things.
Well, we know.
Um,
Well, Michelle, we know that you can't. You have a
no, I'm
very
saying that's what
special,
I'm saying.
unique
If you listen to
situation. But
what
what I'm
she was
saying is that for
saying,
most
if you
people,
right, but I'm saying if you listen to what she said, she pretty much addressed that. But when she comes back on, I'm sure she'll
mhm,
address it again
okay.
because she said depending on your needs.
Right, right. So I'm trying to figure. Okay, so the body needs a certain amount of fats, proteins,
Right, micro.
carbohydrates, right, microbes.
Yeah,
Okay, let's see if we can.
is she back? Okay.
Okay, yeah. Okay, say something, Shawnee.
Hold on.
Oh, that
Oh,
sounds
that's
much
a
better.
lot better. Yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. That was. Oh
Yeah.
gosh, yeah, yeah. That's much better.
Yeah.
Ooh, yeah, because it was clicking. It was like a click, click, click,
I
click,
didn't
click.
quite hear the click, but I can
No,
hear the
yeah,
different. Yeah.
well, yeah, we heard it. Yeah, I can hear it in the moderators. They
Okay.
heard it. Yeah, it was like
Okay.
click, click,
Okay.
click, 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 click. Like it was. They had called it clicking. It's just yeah,
Okay.
it was just clicking. I don't
I
know
see now
yeah, the
somebody said
setting.
still bad, but I see. I
Hold
guess
on,
that was
hold on. That was okay. How about now? Okay. Yeah, it's a good thing to have
There
yeah.
we go.
Because
sound
I can't.
technicians as your moderators. Okay, but no,
Yeah.
it sounds good so far.
It
So I
sounds
think
good.
okay. So go ahead, Shawnee. Actually, I had some questions for you,
Well, so
and
yeah, go with
I
your
was
question.
asking Michelle. You said some people they might have to feel like they need their proteins, but I was like, okay, but there's other. I think what I'm saying is that sometimes people think that meat is the only way to get protein. Is that correct? Or
No, mm-mm.
okay,
That's
okay. I
I
just
about to
wanted to
say no.
clarify that.
You can get proteins from because you we have vegetarians, vegans, and
Vegans,
everything,
okay,
and they all still get proteins the same. So it's
right.
so yeah.
Glad
So
you
you can
said that because
always
we
get
got a bunch
protein.
of gangs up
Oh
in here. Yeah,
yeah,
we got
no.
we got big gangs up in here. So yeah, I just
Oh
want
no, yeah, you could get protein from your lentils, from your beans. You can get protein.
to.
There's and honestly, if you actually do your research, you really do find that there are some fruits and vegetables that actually have some source of protein.
Hmm.
Just you just have to consume a lot more of them because they're so small.
Hmm.
To
Hmm.
get more protein. But yes, and then you also have things like some people do clean protein powders or clean
Hmm.
protein shakes and things like that. And I say
Right,
clean because I am an advocate for like not using like crazy supplements and things like that.
right.
Right.
Um, the one thing that I didn't touch on overall is that I know that I'm not really giving like a well, this is what clean eating means because I really do believe that there's so many different variations of
Okay.
clean eating depending on the person. But the one thing that I do 100% believe all the way around is that every single person can get what they need from food. I
Right.
am
Right.
not a supplement person. I'm not a person
Hmm.
who does any artificial like meal supplements or meal replacements and things like that.
Mhm.
I believe in getting everything you need from
Whole Foods.
actual food. Yes, from
Yeah,
Okay.
food.
Whole Foods. Yeah.
And yes, whole food. So and that doesn't always eliminate like people like to say things like, well, that means that I never can eat pizza again. I never can eat cheeseburgers again. Whatever those things that you like, those types of things people think that they're whole foods. They're not. They are,
No,
those foods are foods that you can, they're comfort food, they're snack
Yeah.
foods, they're
they're
things,
junk
but they
food,
are not, yes, they are junk
straight
food.
up, right?
And
Yeah.
so the reason that you should eat those things in moderation is because even though those things might be filling in the moment, because there's way more wrong than right in them,
Hmm.
it's better for you to, I rather you eat 3 chicken breasts
Yeah.
cheeseburger,
Okay.
because those
Mhm.
3 chicken breasts, you're gonna be full, right?
Yeah.
You'll be
Yeah.
full. You'll get everything you need out of that. Those three
Yeah.
chicken breasts is a lot more filling than that one cheeseburger, and that
Hmm.
Mhm.
one cheeseburger had a lot more sodium in it. So it's
Mhm.
not that people don't want you to have the things that you like; it's that the things that you like aren't giving you what you need
Right.
in that little package. It's a lot worse in it than it is good.
Right.
So
Right.
you want to, yeah, we want to make sure that we're eating real food, real whole food.
Whole foods, right?
Right.
Okay.
Right. Right.
Let's say
Um,
I'm looking at.
so another thing that I wanted to address, because in Atlanta, we have a lot of people getting in car accidents, left and right, car accidents, car accidents. A lot of people, uh, you tend to, when you do surveys, that is pretty much the beginning of their downcline of exercising, moving around. Do you, Shawnee, ever work with people who have maybe, and I don't want to say major car accidents, but have recovered and still might have maybe a slight slip disc or maybe a
Disability.
knee or, yeah, just like a slight disability?
Mhm.
So actually, I'm happy you asked that. That's
Right.
actually one of my specialties, and I think
Good.
that's how Michelle knows already.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
actually one of my specialties. That's something that I studied when I was trying to become a personal trainer. I
Mhm.
myself have a meniscus tear in my right knee,
Right. Oh, I
and
got one in my left knee.
yeah.
Oh, I had one in my left knee. Go ahead. I'm sorry. Okay.
So yeah, it's actually a common injury.
Hmm.
And so I actually work with people who have injuries. I got
Okay.
into it actually looking to work with an organization for chemotherapy
Hmm.
patients.
Mhm.
I did a charity event where I basically did a seated workout. Like the whole
Okay.
workout was in a chair. And it's
Okay.
Mhm.
because, patients going through chemotherapy, a lot of them are too weak to do
Right.
um, a lot
Right.
of movement. So that weakness they feel in their body, they can't go lift weights now. Like that's not a
Right.
good place to start. So,
Right.
so I started there, and that made me interested in finding out more about like working with people who have knee injuries,
Hmm.
lower back injuries, ankle injuries, wrist injuries. I myself also have an injury in my hand. So like I started working on like what is it like getting back into it after injury.
Right.
Um,
Mhm.
and there is absolutely not one injury. Like you literally have to have more of a like, are you completely bedridden? That's
Mhm.
the
Right.
only injury, honest to goodness. That's the only injury that we really can't work around.
Right.
That's it.
Right.
There's not one single injury. If you have, I see people in the gym. I see people who have lost limbs still
Yeah.
in the gym,
Right.
Yeah.
working their body. So there's really no injury that you can't work around.
Right.
You would never, if you watch me work out now, you would never believe I have a meniscus tear.
Right.
Right.
You would never believe it, because what I found out was that because the joint itself may be like, I can't fix the tear. The tear is not fixable. I have to get a surgery in order to fix the tear, and it still doesn't fix the tear. It just gives it a new. It basically replaces something and
Right.
puts something new in there. So I didn't fix the actual injury. It just,
Right. Right.
it just basically gave me a new knee.
So,
Right.
I
oh,
just strengthened my quads.
I
That's what
like
Mhm.
I
that.
learned.
That's
I learned strengthen the quad, strengthen the hamstring, strengthen the calf. You strengthen all the muscles around the joint, and now you take all the stress off the joint.
now
Wow.
that's perfect because it brings me to my next question.
Mhm.
Real common injury here in Atlanta in car accident is the slip disc.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So how do you apply that around the core? Because that I mean that's you we're talking about the center core of your body. and your back is pretty much the support of everything. So how do you work around that type of injury?
Working around something in the back, it is a little
Yeah.
trickier because at the end
Okay.
of the day, people have to learn how to lift all over again.
Right.
So
Like that.
we have the tendency of lifting with our back. You have the tendency of wanting to pull
Right.
those shoulders up first when you're picking something up. And in all
Mhm.
actuality, you should always be lifting with your legs and not with your back. So
Mhm.
someone with a back injury actually benefits from working their legs first,
Right.
starting with their legs first, learning to grow those muscles, strengthen those muscles in the quads, the hamstrings, the glutes. Those muscles, strengthening those muscles will take on the shock that basically you have when you're lifting that heavy weight.
Hmm.
Working around that back area means also supporting it. So you always want to use supports. You don't want to, like, people try to be Superman in the gym and when they have an injury and they don't want to use their braces. Use
Mhm.
those braces. They're created for a reason. If you have a sleeve, you have some type of compression, whatever it is that you have that's going to keep that space nice and supported while you work
Mhm.
out, wear it. It's important to wear it. I did not start off with my knee injury without a brace. I had to
Right.
wear a brace.
Mhm.
So,
So
got to
then
wear those braces.
that opens up some more questions now, Shawnee. Uh, what braces do you recommend, and when should we? Well, I guess kind of self-explanatory. When should we put them on and put them off? I mean, what is the best advice? Because I've seen people like on jobs constantly wear them, and then I've heard you can wear them with too much.
You
I don't
can.
know. Can you break that down?
So first thing I would say is always listen to your doctor. Like that's the first
Okay.
thing that I say is that if
Hmm.
you have a serious injury to a point where you actually had to see a doctor about it, then you
Hmm.
need to ask that doctor questions.
Okay.
Mhm.
And I always say that this is just for like I'm trying to use my words correctly. This is just for us, specifically Black women. Get it in writing. And the
Hmm.
reason why I say get it in writing is because then if once a doctor has to actually sign off on something, they'll give you accurate information. Um,
Mhm.
so get it
Right.
in writing, whatever they're telling you. If they're telling you, oh, you have a slip disc and you should possibly use a brace that's going to support this specific part of your spine, because there's certain braces that support different things.
Right.
So listen to your doctor first, listen to what they have to say, and then go shopping. Um,
Mhm.
as far as using it too much, you have people who kind of use it but still lift with their back. They're not learning anything.
Oh,
Um, so it's not necessarily that they're using it too much, is that they're not using it correctly.
properly. Right.
Yeah, you can't overwear a brace. That's not the part that's true. You can't overwear it.
I'm glad you cleared
Um,
that up. Okay.
yeah, you don't want to keep it on 24/7 because you want to make sure that you're giving your body flexibility. But if you have pain in a workout, it's not overwearing it. It's protecting it. You want to stop working out if you have pain.
Got you.
And if you're uncomfortable and the brace is supporting it and you feel like you can keep going, then keep the brace on. Don't just take the brace off because you have a good day either.
Right.
Like
Right.
while you are working through that injury and while you're building those muscles, while that muscle is getting stronger, that's where you're making sure that you're keeping that. keep
Right.
Mhm.
keep that. Keep that brace on and make sure it doesn't come off. So that way you're building everything around it nice and strong. When your doctor tells you you could take it off, that's when you could take it off. So
Okay.
that's not I'll be honest with you guys, I wouldn't listen to a trainer who is telling you that you could keep your brace on and take your brace off.
Got you.
Um, if they're not sending
Mhm.
you to your doctor, if you don't have a doctor and you're asking for a recommendation, then I would always still tell you to go online and look up your injury specifically and look at what braces support what things. So if you have an elbow
Mhm.
injury and you're looking for an elbow brace, you need to put into Google the exact injury that you have,
Right.
figuring
Right.
it out. I got this weird tick in my elbow. What's going on? And it hurts when I lift up. Okay, put that in Google. Put
Right.
that
Yeah.
whole thing in Google and see what
Mhm.
braces come up. Give a couple of them a try. You might have to go through two or three if you don't have a doctor that you can go to. But if you have a doctor you can go to that doctor. Ask that doctor those questions. And when they give you those answers, listen, follow those instructions. If you don't follow those instructions, then you're just looking to make your injury worse.
Right. Now you said to learn to relearn. Now I've come across family members. I've come across, like I said, many people, and now I can't even just blame Georgia, Shawnee. In many states that have this slip disc is very common from driving and getting in an accident. Is there a way to teach a person how to walk upstairs properly? Because that seems to
Yes.
be the common, like, oh, I can't make it upstairs. My back hurts. And I'm just like,
Yes.
oh, wow. You know,
Because you don't realize how many muscles you use to do a simple task until
uh-huh.
one thing hurts.
Right.
When one thing hurts, like I said, I have a small injury in my hand. It's a joint in my ring finger that actually I hyperextended. So overextended it, and now the joint itself is a little rickety. You don't
Okay.
realize how many muscles it takes just to do this until that one thing
One, yeah.
hurts. Now you
Yeah.
feel how everything pulls together just to bring your fingers together. So when you have that pain in your back, and
Uh-huh.
you're walking upstairs and you're realizing that every single time you press down on the step, that
Uh-huh.
from the foot all the way up to the hips react at the same time, just
Right.
getting your body up one step. So if you have a small space in the lower back that hurts, you're going to feel that every
Right.
single step. So
Okay.
it's about again strengthening those muscles, strengthening those calf
Mhm.
muscles, strengthening those quads, strengthening those glutes, so that you can get up those steps and the muscles take on the shot, not the
Mhm.
joint.
Right.
So
Right.
it's
Right.
that's what strength training is. People don't even, they use that term, but they don't know what it really means. Strength training is strengthening those muscles so that you're taking on. It doesn't mean that you're trying to pick up a house. I'm not trying to flip
Right.
a
Right.
car.
Right.
You
Right.
know, like that's not
You're
why.
trying to build walk around muscles
Yes, I'm
to take
trying to
away the
basically
strain
strengthen. Yes,
off
you
the back.
strengthen those muscles, and that way you
Mhm.
could take some. Your joints will see some relief. You know, you
Yeah.
strengthen
Hmm.
those muscles, and you'll be able to do more. When I strengthen my quads, I have videos on my Instagram of me with the Smith machine squatting, and you
Right.
cannot tell that this knee
Yeah.
ever hurt. You can't
Right.
tell
Right.
because my range of motion is different now. Because now instead of the joint hurting, my quads activate and my
Right. The
quads
muscle
take
take
on all
over.
of that. Yes.
Hmm.
So it's strength training is not I'm trying to flip a car, I'm trying to be the Hulk. Strength training
Right.
is it could be something as simple as I have a small injury. I want to strengthen the muscle around that injury so that it could take some of that stress off of the injury itself.
So, what are you recommending? The glutes, quads, and calves?
If you have a back injury,
Yeah.
train your legs, train your lower body.
All the, okay.
If you have a back injury, train your lower body. Train that lower body. Strengthen all those muscles in the lower body, period, because it's a lot of them. So look up and see what those muscles are. And
Right.
because there's a lot of small muscles in there. I say quads, but a lot of people don't they just say thigh. They think it's just the
Yeah.
thigh. It's a lot of muscles in there. That's why we have a lot of ranges of motions, because it's a lot. Our bodies can move in a lot of different ways. So explore those muscles,
Mhm.
explore what muscles, see, figure out, like, yeah, I have that pain right here. Okay, when I move this way, I can't really turn all the way. Find out what your range of motion is and train your body. Train your body.
I have a question, and I have a severe ankle injury. So when I'm doing squats, I have in well, yeah, I have an issue with doing proper squats and getting a great range of motion. And I was told it came from my ankle. Is that possibly true? And if it is, how is there a way that I can compensate for that so that I can get a good squat?
So when you're training around an injury, you want to modify.
Mm-hmm.
Modifications are not failure. I say that all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Modifications are ways of getting the muscles to work without the strain. So I would start with something as simple as, maybe you need to start off with squatting on an actual bench, like literally getting to a bench or a chair and
Mm-hmm.
using that support. So sitting completely down and standing
Mm-hmm.
back up. That gives you that moment of rest in between every time you hit the chair, so that it takes less strain off your ankles, but it keeps on training the muscles so that you
Okay.
can build strength in the muscle. So using, if you're using a weight or whatever, putting those weights on your shoulders and standing up from that seated position and sitting right back down, standing up from that seated position, sitting back, that's
Right.
going to help train the muscles around it,
Okay.
around
Right.
that ankle. And
Okay.
so it'll take the strain off the ankle.
Okay.
It is possible that you could have injured the ankle by squatting incorrectly. You want to make sure that your squat should be like as if you're sitting in a chair every
Mm-hmm.
single time, with or without something behind you. It should be like you're sitting in a chair. You
Right.
don't want to go too deep into a squat. People
Mm-hmm.
think that the deeper the squat, the better. The deeper the squat just means that you have some strong quads and some strong hamstrings and things,
Mhm.
Okay.
and some flexibility in the muscle. So that
Okay.
you do have to build there. You have to
Okay.
build there. So start off without trying to go so deep into your squat. Start off trying in a higher chair. Then bring
Okay.
that chair down a little bit. Keep on
Mm-hmm.
bringing it down until you can realize, like, okay, I'm a little lower than I was and I don't have pain. Now I could add a little more weight, or now I could go a little lower. So build up to it. Everything takes time and everything needs to be built up to.
Okay. Thank you. Because like
No
I said,
problem.
I was told, that it was probably my ankle. So you explained a lot to help me get a good form. So,
Oh, no problem. No problem. Well, that's one thing. The form is very, very important. Form is
mm-hmm.
100% important. I'm sorry. Did you have a question?
No, no, no. I was just going to say that. What is the best? I guess this is kind of a weird question, probably for you. Where do you get your best form from? Free weights or Smith machines? I don't know. I
Oh,
just put that out there.
no, it's okay.
Well, I guess for
For
injury
squat.
training. For injury training, yeah.
Oh, okay. So for injury training, it's more so like I'll be honest. For injury training, I am more of a machine person,
Okay.
just because the machine does kind of give you the form.
Right.
However, once you get past a certain spot of injury training, I take you off machines.
Mm-hmm.
And that's
Oh.
because machines force your form.
Mm-hmm.
So you're
Okay.
not learning proper form. A machine is an assistant. All right.
Mm-hmm.
The
Right.
machine is the assistant. So the machine is basically telling you, okay, sit, put your butt in this chair here,
Hmm.
put your legs on this pad, turn this, whatever this knob is to add your weight. And now just this machine only has one motion. Just do
Right.
that however
Mm-hmm.
many times you want. With the free
Mm-hmm.
weight, you have to actually tell yourself, okay, I have to sit
Right.
upright. My knees should be pointed this way. So that it depends. So with your injury training, once you're past a certain point, I'm gonna take you off of a machine because now you need to learn this form without it. That's the
Okay.
only way that you're actually going to strengthen the muscle is
Oh,
Okay.
by learning. You can't have the assistant forever.
right.
I could help you.
Right.
Think about it. Think about it in the terms of being helped doing a push up. If I
Okay.
if I stood over you and let's say I put a harness on you and I stood over you and you can't do a push up by yourself, but I just pull you up
Right. Like
while
training
you do
wheels.
that push
Right.
up. Yep, training wheels with the push up. Right, you're just pushing up and your body is doing the motion. All right, it's like, okay, I get the motion. Now muscle memory kicks in. It gets the motion. So
Mm.
now I'm going to take the harness off of you and I'm going to tell you to do push ups by yourself. The first
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
couple are going to be horrible. You're not going to do good at all. They're going to come up. You're going to flop back down to the ground. You're probably only going to be able to do 3 or 4, and that's going to be it. But you're going to keep on doing that same motion that you learned when you had the harness and I was pulling you up. If I
Mm-hmm.
keep on assisting you, you're never going to learn how to do it. But if you flop on the ground a
Right.
couple of times, eventually those muscles get stronger. So we start
Mm-hmm.
off with assistance, where it's just teaching the muscles what motion it should be in.
Right.
Then we take the assistance off, and now the
Mm-hmm.
muscles know the motion, and now we're strengthening the muscles. Once we
Wow.
strengthen the muscles, now the muscles know how to just get it done.
Oh.
So that's you got it, it progresses. Everything builds. Everything is a build. Everything is a
Mm-hmm.
build.
Okay. So, Shawnee, help me understand this. So you're saying, is the Smith machine restricting a range of motion, or is that why you take them off
In
eventually, or?
In ways, the Smith machine, yes. In ways, the Smith machine restricts your range of motion because it's built to do one motion up and down.
Got
That's
you.
it. So
Okay.
so if you did the Smith machine and then you also went to a different, okay, so there's two different kinds of machines to do like those squats, like the back weighted squat. It's the
Right.
free one and the one that has the actual
The
track on
assist.
it. The
Yeah.
Smith,
Mhm.
yeah. So the Smith machine has the track on it. That one is going to force your form, and that's a good thing though because you're learning. That's fine.
Right.
I still use the Smith machine. I just go very heavy now, so that way I can, so because now I know the form, but now I'm
Right.
just using it as an assistant when I'm by myself because now it's on the track, so I won't hurt myself.
Right.
But
Got you.
but if you do have an assistant in the gym, you could go use the regular barbell, and you want to
Hmm.
do back weighted squats. Now, without the Smith machine, now you need to know that your squats, your hips need to be going backwards. You need to be sitting into your heels. Your knees don't need to extend past you need to know your
Right.
actual form. So now when I'm doing that without the Smith machine, I'm not going to kill myself in the gym.
Right.
I don't want to, I don't want you falling backwards because you don't know what you're doing.
Right.
So yeah, eventually we come off of machines because we want you to learn the form. If you don't learn the form, not only are you going further, making your injury worse, but you're also not working the muscles that you are trying to work
Activating.
correctly.
That's right.
So if you have bad form, then you could sit there with this bad form bicep curl you want to and try to figure out why your biceps aren't growing. It's because your form isn't good.
Right. Right. Now it brings up another question. So I've heard you should start off heavy and then go lighter with higher reps. And then I've heard you should go high reps and then try to go heavy. What do you recommend as far as,
Um,
I guess, or does it even matter?
It depends on the goal. It depends on the goal. If you are a person that's looking to bulk up, then you
Hmm.
want to lift heavy. If you're a person
Okay.
looking to tone, you don't have to lift as heavy. You can. I recommend heavy. I lifted heavy. That was my thing. My
Hmm.
start. My trainer, he was crazy, and
So you can still
I
get
lifted
cuts.
heavy,
You can still
and I
get cuts
lifted
with high
heavy.
rep. Is that what you're saying? You can still get cuts
Yes,
with high rep. Okay.
absolutely. High rep is honestly, if you can't lift very heavy for health reasons, because some
Hmm.
people can't lift too heavy, some people just can't. So if you can't lift too heavy, high reps is fine. It's more about consistency than anything. And there's a couple of people who probably would hate to hear this, but it also is 80% diet and 20% fitness, workout,
Hmm.
exercise. So it's 20%. So if you're not, if it depends on the goal. If you're not eating right to get to the goal that you have, but you're just lifting heavy and you're getting the opposite results than you want, then you're realizing, okay, maybe this plan that I have isn't the plan for me. So it really depends on what your goal is. Me personally, my first goal, I'll tell you my very first goal because I had many. My very first goal was to lose body fat. That was it. That's all I
Hmm.
wanted. I wanted to lose. I had to learn what I wanted because at first I was like, I want a six pack, and I was like, how about we lose the fat first? All right. So the first goal was to lose body fat. So losing body fat, I did lift heavy. I lifted. I went into it with straight lifting. I went to a personal trainer who was strength based, and that's what I teach now. I am strength training based.
Okay.
However, when I worked for a third party, I won't name them. When I worked for a different company, they were a cardio based company where it was a group class. So everybody comes in and the classes are a lot of jumping and it's a lot of running and it's a lot of, it's a lot on the joints when it's a lot of cardio. And people were trying to figure out, well, like they were looking at my personal clients and looking at their results and trying to figure out, well, why don't I was here the same amount of, I saw you post this lady 2 months ago and I started around the same time. What's the difference? And I would tell them that it's strength training versus just all cardio. So it
Right.
depends on the goal. If you're trying to lose the fat and tone the muscle, you gotta lift some weights. But it doesn't necessarily matter if it's heavy and low reps or light and high reps. It doesn't really matter. It's more about customizing it to you. And also whatever that goal is, however you want to reach that goal.
It's funny you say that, Shawnee, because when I think of strength and six packs, I'm thinking about two different body types because most of the strong men, they got big belly. They got big belly. Those are the strong men. I mean, they be strong, but they usually have a
That's
gut.
the food part of it.
Right. But
Usually that's the issue. It's the overtraining of the arms because you want to have a physique, and that's where I started before talking about how like Instagram and all that is a thing because everybody wants to look a certain way.
Mhm.
So it's
the
more
strong
about the
men don't.
physique.
They're
They
not
want to
going for the
look.
look. They're going just straightly for the. They're competing with the strength. Like they're pulling cars. They're flipping old big giant
Oh, you talking
tires.
about those kind of strong men?
Those strong men, yeah. Those
Oh,
guys
the
be
real
big.
strong men.
Yeah, the real, yeah. The ones that be doing all kind of weird. You don't never see no six pack, but they got the strength.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. They have some definition usually. Sometimes they have some definition. The difference is really when you're looking for that strong, when they're doing the strong thing, they are
Yeah.
about, like you said, that is about strength. So they're not looking for the physique. If
Mm-mm.
they're just looking for that, like I just want to be able to pull a car, then no,
Yeah.
they don't care too much about it's the bodybuilders and stuff that are looking more
It's
for,
what they
you
need for that
know,
competition.
they need that. Yeah, they
Right.
need that tone. So their diets are different.
Man, their diets are
My,
jacked
their
up.
diets are
Oh,
different. Their diets
God.
are. My little sister is actually a professional. She just got into professional bodybuilding, and she's figure. She's figure. So
Right.
it's more so about how her figure, and oh my goodness, her transformation is amazing. I wish I
Right.
could show pictures. But yeah, like it's her
Well, you can
transformation is
come back on.
amazing,
You can
and
come back on anytime. Yeah, you can come back
no
on. Yeah.
problem, no problem,
Yeah.
no problem. I'll definitely bring some pictures next time. I'll show you
Right.
guys. Like there's
Because
her
this is the first.
transformation is
Oh,
wild, but her diet is different.
right.
Her diet is different.
Yeah.
Now I've heard people. It sounds like how your sister's doing. In order to get those cuts and those definitions, they have to stay away from salt. Now we had Michelle's niece on here the other day saying now they're specializing food where they can season it. But I know back in the 80s and 90s, it wasn't no salt, wasn't no sugar. It was pretty much bland.
Yeah, my sister told me about her diet and told me things that she has to eat that's very bland.
Okay.
Um, it's not necessarily like it depends on like her water retention and stuff like
Right.
that, and like they have it's down to the science. Like they have it down to the science of like what actually makes your figure look like the best at all time, like when you're in competition mode anyway.
Right. Mm-hmm.
So
And you have to do this
their
within a
diets are
certain.
very yes, that's the part. That's what I was about to say. Is like their diets are very restrictive in that certain amount of time because
Time, right.
leading up to that competition, they have to shed a certain amount of water. They got to be, that they want to see that definition, all those cuts and everything. Then they have to
Exactly.
it's kind of weird because you hear the word dehydrate and
Yeah.
it sounds
Right.
really bad, but they
Right.
kind of do have to dehydrate so that so you can see more definition in their
Right.
stomachs and it is a lot. So it's again like it's all about that goal. That goal is to have those cuts and all those things, and your food they got to be different. Your
Right.
workout routine has to be different. If your goal is something just as simple as like I just want to be healthy, like I just
Yeah.
want to be healthy. I want to have a healthy heart. I want to be able to walk without. I want to be able to walk up the steps without feeling winded.
Yeah.
A girl told me, one of my current clients, when I first met her, I'll never forget this. She told me, I just want to walk. I just want to be able to bring all the groceries in the house at one time without being out of breath.
Yeah.
And I thought that was funny, and I was like, you know what, we gonna practice. We gonna work on that. Like
Right.
that's your goal. That's what we're going for. So like, not everybody has a goal to have a six pack and to be beefy, and not everybody. Some people's goal is just
Right.
simply, I just want to be physically okay.
Right. This
Well,
feels
then,
good.
well, then let me ask this question because I mean we're winding down. I wanted to get this last question in, but and I know Michelle's got a winding down question too. So the whole, I guess, is this whole injury workout a whole new industry, or is that or that's something that's been around, or what? Is it a new market? Is it a new?
So
Because more and more
it's
people are
not
getting
that
into it.
we're Yeah, it's
More
not
and more
that
people
it's
get
not that
injured.
we're new. It's not that we're new
Okay.
because technically, what I do is this. It is somewhat on the lines of physical therapy.
Yeah.
Okay.
So a physical therapist is basically a personal trainer who it's just without the actual workout. Physical therapy has mobility workouts and things like that to help you, regain range of motion and things like that. I basically add the weights to it. All right.
Gotcha.
So
Okay.
I'm basically helping you regain that range of motion. So I work hand in hand with a physical therapist. I don't, I'm not just going to like jump out there and as soon as if you have not seen a doctor first clearing you to come to me, I'm not working with you because that's just going to bring you to injury further than you already are. I can't do that to you.
Okay.
So you have to be cleared to work out. So
Right.
even like things, not just injury, but like post surgery. I've had
Yeah.
people who've
Right.
had surgeries who have to be cleared by their doctor first, saying that you are physically able to start working out.
Right.
They give me restrictions. Okay, they can't do anything higher than 15 pounds. They can't lift above their head. They can't bend. Those types of restrictions. That's where we start. We start with those
Mhm.
restrictions. Then we start working past breaking those restrictions.
Okay.
Then it like I said before, it builds up. It always starts. We start small. We start small, and it all starts with you gotta get cleared first. You gotta go to a doctor. You got to
Okay.
make sure that that injury isn't something because if you could come to me and tell me, well, I just have a small pain in my knee, and the whole time it could be a meniscus tear, and here I
Yeah.
have you on the Smith machine lifting 90 pounds, and then you try to figure out why your knee is really jacked up now.
Yeah.
So that then falls back on me. So we're not gonna do that. We're not gonna do that. We're gonna make sure you're cleared first.
Now, we talked about clean eating. Is there a special diet you recommend for fast recovery? Because, like, when I got my knee injury, I did a lot of strawberries, a lot of raspberries, I did a lot of berries basically to the antioxidants, and my knee, like, I felt like I feel like I've never had an injury. As long as I don't go in the like snow nowhere, I'm good.
So I already said it 1,000 times, but this is I'm serious when I say it is first thing first is listen to your doctor. If you
Okay.
have restrictions, if they tell you that maybe you should stay away from the salt or sugar or whatever it is to,
Hmm.
speed up that recovery, that's fine. I will also say that there is technically no real way to speed up a recovery. Your
Okay.
body is going to recover however it wants to. Understand that
Okay.
you are in control of your body, but your body is running the show. So
Right.
your body, so you do have to listen to your body. If you're clean eating for a recovery is
Hmm.
if they're telling you like I know people who have weight loss surgery, they tell you that you're kind of on a high protein diet. So if
Yeah.
they're telling you to be on high protein diet, then you need to eat that protein. You need to get that protein in a day. And that's it's not really a speedy recovery, it's a recovery. You'll
Hmm.
actually
Right.
go along the lines, like you'll see your recovery going very nicely if you follow instructions. You have to follow
Yeah.
instructions. So if they're telling you to cut out sugar completely and you're still coming home and sneaking those snacks, then you're trying to figure out why your recovery is 3 months longer than they anticipated. That's
Yeah.
why, because you're
Yeah.
not following instructions. You kind of do have to be hard on yourself when it comes to following the instructions that were given to you, especially when it comes
Hmm.
to recovery. When it comes to recovery, they're telling you that for a reason. If you need iron, then you need to be getting that iron. If they're telling you need fiber, then you need to get that fiber. If you
Fiber.
eliminate the things they're telling you, if you're
Mhm.
eliminating those things and you're trying to figure out why am I just not getting better, that's why, because you're not following instructions. So
Right.
following instructions and then also learning yourself all over again.
Yeah.
Understanding that your body is not the same body. After you
Mhm.
have an injury, even if that injury heals, your
Mhm.
body is still not the same body. You have to look at things on a tally kind of scale, where
Mhm.
it's like I got a knee injury now, so I got to tally that up when I'm considering what I'm doing in the gym. So
Yeah.
because I have a knee injury, I might not go as hard with my legs on like I used to because
Mhm.
I need to still consider the fact that there is still something in there that's not 100% all the time.
Right. Right.
So So understanding that your body's not the same, learning this new body, even if it's as small as a finger injury. If you broke a finger, you now have a different body. You got to learn how to work around that body now. Work with that body and stop trying to do the things that the old body did. Learn how to work with the new.
Okay.
All right. Information. I know you're pressed for time because you have a class. So I was going to ask you, is there anything that you wanted to share? Share your information. And I do want to, I know you have a app where you can join and work out and be a part of your group for information. But do you work with people outside of your state or where you are at this current time? If so, can you give all that information before you have to run off and take care of your client?
Sure. I actually pushed everything back, so we're good right now.
Okay.
But yes, so first things first is, once again, for anybody who did not get it, my name is LaShawn Cummings. I go by Shawnee D. Shawnee D is a nickname given to me. I have had this name for a very long time now, so it kind of just stuck. So, but yes, my name is LaShawn Cummings. I'm a certified personal trainer, group fitness instructor, and I'm actually working on that nutritionist certification right now. So, my social media, if you want to follow me on Instagram, I am at just.move.llc. Again, that's just.move.llc. And on Facebook, I'm Just Move LLC. This is the logo. It's a giant play button. If nobody got that, because that's exactly what it is. Like, you just got to press play. That's it. Like, so that's right. The whole. So if you see us on social media, that's usually what you'll see. Like I said, I teach. I do currently have virtual clients. So if you are interested in like one-on-ones, I currently have a virtual client in North Carolina. I have a virtual client in Texas. And I also have a virtual client up in Vermont, actually, which is kind of cool. I didn't even know somebody knew me out there. So that's pretty cool. So yes, I do take virtual clients. I do have a way of people connecting with me, whether it's on Instagram or Facebook. You can connect with me on my website as well, which is www.justmovellc.com. On that website, you could request to join the site. And basically, if you want to work with me, if you want to work in like a virtual thing with us, what I'll do is basically set you up in the app. Like Michelle said, I work with an app where you can pretty much just log in and get your daily workouts. It's a community. I do challenges every now and again. I did a 21-day challenge on that app where everybody was able to just log in, see their workout. They had built-in rest days, and they had the community where they could just talk to each other like, ooh, today was hard. Because I'll be honest with y'all, I am not an easy trainer. I'm not going to lie to you. I am not a trainer that gives you BS. If I'm giving you your money's worth of a workout, and I am a results person. So I'm my first story. I am my very first story. I lost the weight with the trainer, gained it all back in quarantine, had to lose it again, and this time I did it by myself. So I am my own first story, and I am very, very true to everything that I told you. I live by what I say. I love what I do. So I'm very, very true to what I do. So that's the ways to connect with us. And Just Move. We have like some apparel and stuff, and you'll be seeing some stuff coming up. Like October's coming. I always buddy up with Living Beyond Breast Cancer and do stuff for breast cancer awareness. Like I said, I got my start working with injuries, working with people going through chemotherapy. So I stay true to that community as well. So yeah, I hope that answered everything because I'm not sure.
It did.
But yeah, that's everything. I really do love what I do, and I really love fitness. This is something that I never knew. I started off as a makeup artist. I never thought that this would be my life. I never thought that this would be what I really enjoy doing. I enjoy teaching people how to get into fitness, teaching people how to get their lives back. There's so many people I've dealt with. I deal with people that have issues with their mental health, who just realize that, I'm depressed and I don't do anything but just work and come home and I need something more. I create a community for them of people. I create a support system. My clients, I have group chats where they meet each other so that they can have a support system. If I see that you don't have a support system when you come with me, I'll give you one because you need that. You need that. You're not always going to be motivated. That's one thing that people, that's a lie. That is a lie. You are not always going to be motivated. That is a lie. I am a full trainer, and there are days that I look up like, I ain't going to the gym. Like, I don't feel like it. You're not always going to be motivated. That's when your dedication got to kick in. That's when your commitment to yourself got to kick in. And so sometimes you need somebody else to kick you in the back and tell you, like, hey, let's go. Let's go. We got goals. So,
LaShawn, that is so true because I've gotten to a point where I said, I'm just have my own gym, and I still have, sometimes I'm thinking, okay, it'll be easier, but it's still, like you said, it's all about, like you said, that support group pushing yourself because you can have your own gym at home and still suffer from the same type of procrastination.
At home workouts are great. But the one thing I learned during the pandemic, during quarantine, during lockdown, is that they're not fun for long. They're not fun for long. You can like watching the TV and doing the workouts, even doing them virtually. Like, don't get me wrong. When we started doing workouts virtually, Michelle remembers we started doing them virtually. I started literally setting up a time on Zoom for everyone to log in. We're going to do this workout together because it was so much better to have that small interaction with people, even though we couldn't leave the house. It was so much better to have a small interaction, have a time, have a purpose, to jump in like, all right, I got my workout at 5:00.
Well, LaShawn, it was different for me. I mean, I'm not going to mention the gym name, but I just got tired of waiting behind people. I'm just like, oh my gosh, you know what I'm saying? And so that motivated me just start buying parts here and there. And then I just said, man, I'm just tired of waiting behind people sitting there talking, and I'm like, yo, can and I'm just like, so that's why I did what I did. Yeah.
Let me give you a little tip. This is for the people who love the gym but hate the people. And I understand it. I understand it. It is about the time that you go to the gym. It is all in the time that you go. I'm sorry to tell y'all, but those of you who don't like people, you got to get up in the morning. You got to get up. You got to get up. I understand. Nobody likes hearing it, and no one likes hearing it. My very first client in the morning is at 5 a.m. When I started with a trainer, my very first session, myself, LaShawn, walking into a gym was at 4:30 a.m. My session started at 4:30 a.m. Why? Because I had a goal and I did not like crowded spaces. So you gotta go. You gotta get up in the morning. If you are not a people person, you gotta get up in the morning. If you can get into the gym, if that gym opens at 5 a.m., if it's a 24-hour gym and it's open at 3 a.m., 4 a.m., 5 a.m., you gotta get there. Get there that early. Because guess what? It's gonna be you and 6 other people who just want to get their workout in and get done. If you don't like getting up, or very, very late.
Midnight.
Exactly. Or very, very late. If you don't mind going very, very late, that's fine. Go very, very late. But you got to go it got to be the basics, the beginning or the end of the day. In the middle of the day, the only time in the day that you're going to get a gym day, like a good timing in the gym, good spacing and everything, is in that 10 a.m. to 11:30 a.m. hour. Because that hour, everybody's at work. So if you're at work, then I get why you can't do that. But once you get to the after work gym hours, you then have what we call the social gym people. We have social gym people. Social gym people are people who come to the gym who they like being there around other people. They like having their conversation. It's 8 of them sharing one machine because they're all doing their reps together and having a conversation. If you don't like people, don't go to the gym after 4 o'clock. Like, like you can't go from 4 to like 7 because that's social gym hour. You gotta go early in the morning or late at night.
Especially getting off work. That is definitely not the time. And also, you just made me think about something, LaShawn. That's why I didn't mention any gym names. You get what you pay for. So the more the gym costs, the more equipment they're gonna have. But you sitting up there paying $10 a
Exactly.
month, you're gonna wait behind some people.
Exactly.
Oh
It's
gosh. And
true.
I see it
It's
now. I'm like,
true.
why is this
It is
gym
very true.
$50 and this one only
This
$10?
is
But now I
this is
get
how
it.
they get us. This is how they get us. I have like 4 gym memberships because
Yeah.
of that reason. Because I know what gyms are going to be empty at what time.
Right.
So when I know I want to get a workout in, if I know specifically, like I really want a really good leg day, I know exactly what gym I can go to and what time I need to go, so that all the machines that I want to work on, I know they're gonna be empty because ain't nobody in there at that time.
Right.
So you gotta get used to. You gotta figure out your gym. I recommend, if you do have a gym membership somewhere, I recommend always getting the membership where you can go to any of their gyms. Like, don't get the membership that you could just go to that one building.
Right.
Get the membership where you can go to any of their buildings, because that's also going to help you. That's going to help you a lot. It's going to help you a lot, because then you could just fluctuate. All right, I want to go here because I could see that they got real crowded around this time. So I'm going to go on this one. You got to kind of get tricky with it. you got to get tricky with it. And you do have to get used to it too. Sometimes you might just have to deal with the fact that, like, you got to switch up your arm day and maybe work on legs today because everybody's in the gym using all the dumbbells. Right. You got to be flexible. Find some fun. If you make fitness fun, I know that sounds so cheesy, but if you make fitness fun, then that's another thing that will help with going to crowded gyms. Because if you're already in there having fun with whatever you're doing, then it'll be easy to switch up what you're trying to do that day if you notice that area is crowded. Because you're there for a good time, and it's like, I'm not going to let that bother me. I'm going to go over here instead and just work on core then. Fine. I'm going to just switch it up. So going with the plan, but also going with the plan B.
That's a good point. That's good advice. That is real good advice. Because sometimes I notice that even during the summer, even at midnight at the gym, because I'm in the rural area, so my options for just hopping gyms is non-existent. So I notice sometimes even at midnight during the summer, the kids are there. So I can't just, I was like, well, this is what my trainer has for me to do. And in the beginning, I would become overwhelmed because I couldn't get the machines. But like you said, I learned to kind of switch it up and make it fun, because I'm always wearing my headphones and I'm a music person. We come from musical people. So I love music, and that made it a little less overwhelming. And I'm glad you gave that advice, because that reminded me again, sometimes you have to veer off from your strict plan, maybe 1 or 2 days, at a time or whatever.
It also helps you discover movement. No problem. It also helps you discover new movements. It helps you discover so let's say you're walking into the gym and you're telling yourself, okay, today I'm going to work on my biceps, triceps, shoulders, right? Let's say that's it. And you walk in and you want to try to use the bicep curl machine, and you realize that somebody's on it. You keep coming back, somebody's on it. Okay, now you're going to go grab a dumbbell and you're going to learn, okay, now today I'm going to learn how to properly do a bicep curl, because I want to work that bicep. Now I'm going to learn how to do a different movement to work that same muscle. So it also helps with learning variations. You can work multiple muscles different ways. You don't have to do the exact same thing. Some people go to the gym and they do the exact same thing every single time. Switch it up. If you can't use the Smith machine, go grab a free weight and go and do some squats somewhere else. If you can't use the cable machine, you can't use the row machine, and go grab some free weights to get to that bench and pull that thing behind it. Like, you got to learn how to work your muscles in different ways. So it gives you, sometimes a crowded gym is a blessing. Sometimes it's a blessing, because sometimes a crowded gym forces you to figure
try something
else
different.
out.
Right. Okay. Oh, okay.
So be open-minded. That's all.
All right. Well, we definitely want to have you back on here again, Shawnee, because I want you to come back and show us some before and after pictures of yourself, because we like to show the progress. And also, Michelle, did you have anything you want to close out with? Because I know
no, not this weekend. I do not have a guest scheduled for next week, but I'm working on it, and I'll let you know later on during the week. But I don't have anything special. Just to say thank you to
Oh,
Shawnee.
yeah, Shawnee, thank you.
No
Shawnee, are
problem.
you out of Georgia?
No, I've never said where I'm from. Goodness. So
Oh,
oh wow. So no, I'm actually from New Jersey.
oh, oh,
I'm from
hey, the
Edison,
accent.
New
Okay,
Jersey.
okay,
I did not realize I never said that, but yes, Just Move is based in Edison, New Jersey. I do service other places virtually, but yes, my classes, all those things, I'm right here in Jersey.
okay.
And
Cool.
and I should say that because I guess because I'm from Georgia, most people assume that my guests are from Georgia, but most of my
Right.
guests will not be from Georgia. But
Okay.
I'm sorry, I should have made that clear when I came on as well. But yeah,
I forgot that I didn't say where I was from.
that was
Yeah.
fine. That's
Oh, it's all
fine.
good. Yeah.
We put it out there. But yeah.
Yeah.
But I didn't have
Yep,
anything to close out with other than saying thank you to
Yes.
Shawnee for
no
being my guest
problem.
and taking time from, out of her busy day to give us some
Yes.
great information that we can
No
use
problem.
for the future.
No problem. No problem at all. I really enjoyed being here. Thank you guys so much for your questions, and I hope I answered everything.
You did.
Yeah.
You
Yeah. I know.
did.
I learned a lot about like you said, the physical therapy. I learned a lot because, yeah, like I
Yeah.
said, I'm around a lot of people who have those injuries. So yeah, it's very car accidents are very common here in Georgia. So yeah, it's
Yeah.
yeah,
It is.
And I'm grateful because with Shawnee, she knows my history with I have a million injuries
yeah,
pretty
yeah.
much. And working
Hmm.
with her,
We worked
that was one of
around
the
all
reasons
of
That's
I
right.
wanted to have her on because she accommodated when we had the workouts, the virtual workouts. She always had modifications. Some of them I was
Yeah,
just too weak to do. I'm just gonna say I wasn't where I thought I
them.
was. But because of her, I
It's
was able to
okay.
yeah.
immediate change. And I recommend anybody in the area or even virtual. I recommend her, and I'm not just saying it because I know her personally. I know from
Thank you.
experience the results that I was able to get and the strength that I was able to gain. Woo, that was I
Thank
got
you.
I have to say. She will work you,
It's
and
okay. It's
I'm
okay.
saying
I'm not gonna lie to
it,
you. I will absolutely work you.
it was
I'm
a
not.
good. It was
That's
great though.
it's not
It
an
was
insult.
okay. It was great because the results was immediate. You know what I'm saying? So I recommend it. I appreciate the work and the advice and the motivation you gave me. I need to get back on it again with you because um yeah, it was I learned a lot.
Thank
And like I
you.
said, you gave me things to modify my shoulder, my back. Even from when I had my stomach injury and my stomach muscles were where it needed to be, you were able to help me figure out how to modify workouts to even build my
To
core.
train
So
the
I thank you
core.
for that.
That's right.
Thank you, thank you. No problem at all. That was, believe me, it was you guys actually like I never even told Michelle this, but what they didn't know is that they were kind of like my case studies. Like
Mhm.
I was in the middle of I was right in the middle of studying all these things, and I was like teaching and learning at the same time, and it
Right.
was
Yeah.
great
Right.
because I was watching the results happen
Right.
while I
Real
was
time.
still learning how to even get to those results. And it was great because of that. It was so great because everybody was open to learning something
Yeah.
new. And it was hard work because I'm
Yeah.
not like I did learn from a very strict trainer. And because of him and the way that I learned there, I took those same principles and I made them my own with my own brand. So I am a hard trainer. I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm not one of those trainers that's just gonna have you do 5 minutes of push-ups and that's it, and send you home.
Hmm.
Like, I'm going to make you try everything.
Mhm.
We're going to modify. We can modify anywhere. Modifications are
Hmm.
never failures. I don't believe it's failures. But at the same time, our modifications are going to build. You're
Mhm.
going to get from, if we got to do mountain climbers on the wall, that's fine. But we're going to
Yeah.
go from the wall to a chair, from a chair
Right.
to a bench, from a bench to the floor. And when we get to the floor, we're going to do 100 of them because now we know how to do them. Like, you
Yeah.
know what I mean? So that's
Yeah.
what I'm like. We're going to build. We're going to build.
Yeah.
And that building, it's going to give you the strength that you're looking for. That was how I built it, and that's how I teach it.
Yeah.
So I'm not an easy trader, but I am fun. We
Yeah.
will have
Yeah.
fun.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
We will
Yeah. I
have
agree.
fun. We will have lots of fun. But yes, I really do love what I do though. So this has been great. Thank you guys for having me on.
All right. And with that being said, we out. Peace, y'all. Thank you.
Good night.
Good night, y'all.
Have a good night.